Magnetic Technologies presents Mysteries of Magnetic Energies. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the videotape you're going to watch now has been an attempt to deliver a short discourse to cover a broad spectrum of application of magnetic technologies in the economy. My main task was to present the information on a sweeping generalization scale, without even going into particulars of this aspect. It is worthwhile mentioning that the topics I'll touch upon in the upcoming narration have epitomized profound research of many years standing. Nevertheless, we are prepared to provide serious scientific and research background on any matters highlighted on the tape once viewers possessing special expertise come up with unimaginable questions. Thus, let's get our feet on the knowledge path, meandering to a mysterious realm of magnetic energies. Many a time do we come to fancy ourselves as nature kings, without even thinking for an instant of eternity that apart from grandeur and pride, we are also greatly responsible for the destiny of nature. How amazing the man can be! He has embarked upon rearranging the surroundings ever since the human race hit the ground. Opulent beauty and perfection given to the man by our Lord as a gracious gift did not seem to please him at all. Needless to say, how much of resourcefulness, imagination, and genius was explicitly manifested as centuries marched on. It will suffice to cast a look around to see the fruit of our acts. I do not intend to speculate on ecological problems which are the topic of the day. At the same time, I am absolutely positive that the moment of truth will come when the man learns to love and understand nature. Now I'd like to dwell on the unique and apparently most salient mechanism of nature, which makes it possible to rule the world. This mechanism has gone through a great deal of changes attributed to our interference with nature and actually needs all-time attention. The mechanism I'm talking about has been known as the magnetic field of Earth. By all appearances, it has never flashed across our minds to go for a surgery in order to swallow the fingers on our hands. That would have been a stupid thing to do, since every finger belongs to where it is and has its own functions. Oddly enough, but whatever we cannot apply to ourselves, we'll lavishly do to the Earth. Just a case in point, which will enable us to clarify the cause for catastrophic changes in geomagnetic condition on Earth. Whatever surrounds us, oceans, mountain ranges, forests, glasses, etc., has its own functions that none of us will cast doubt upon. Iron ore deposits also perform specific obligations, as they are located in certain places across the planet. The man has been known to indulge in pilferage and robbery throughout the centuries. As a result, billions of metals which had placidly reposed on their designated spots crawled away like termites to new abodes of residence, big and small cities, and industrial conglomerates. Millions of vehicles, vessels, railroads, and electric wirings have ensnared the earth with a thick cobweb. It definitely plays up the deplorable picture once we imagine an endless number of reinforced concrete facilities suspended overhead. We get what we have deserved. The man has lost what used to be a life-giving link with the pure magnetic source of Earth and universe. I have no doubt, and this has been proven by the findings and information furnished by numerous research and development centers all across the world, that the overwhelming majority of our ecological and health problems in a certain manner account for changes in the geomagnetic condition on the planet. And the man is known to bear the brunt of sufferings. Research findings available on the magnetic field are significant for almost all the branches of economy, ecology, biology, and medicine. A positive outcome of treating versatile diseases is really shaping well. We somehow have managed to destroy the magnetic field of Earth. So why not exert every effort to bring it back to life? Or at least do it locally. This idea got many magnetologists working hard on special magnetic systems, which would serve as imitation of the magnetic field of Earth, or rather as a prosthesis for a nailing magnetic field of Earth. Magnetology and religion have always been closely related. We still find this link in place nowadays. In recent years, scientists from different universities carried out a research of sacred springs which purport to heal people as deemed by many nations. The findings released by these research activities disclose an unheard of fact that the blessed waters of those springs traditionally start off in the areas which boast of rich deposits of natural magnets. Thus, the Lord has shown future generations a life-giving force of magnetic water with confidence that inquisitive human mind will be able to learn this truth. I think the time has come. What is the life-giving force of magnetic energies in aid of? What is the secret? The Lord created the universe and handed it over to the earthman. All the living things were placed under the command of the single law, which is manifested in every instance of our lives. This is harmony, day and night, cold and warmth, good and evil, and finally, plus minus. All in the universe abides by this law, but the man. Let me cite just one example. Imagine that we have poured water into two glasses from the same pleasant river. The difference is that one glass was filled with water on the day of creation of the universe, whilst the other was topped up nowadays. What kind of picture can we get then? In the first glass, all the molecules respect the law of the maker and are arranged in a strict order. Plus minus, plus minus. The second glass provides somewhat a totally different picture. Up to 60% of the molecules take a chaotic stand. Plus plus, minus minus. This is an explicitly vivid example of biologically dead water, which we have to drink every day. We can purify water as long as we can and even make it crystal clear, but never and never will we be able to make it biologically active or live again. Is it cul-de-sac? Not in the slightest. Russian scientists have devised special magnetic systems, which serve as unique prosthetic appliances for the mutilated magnetic field of Earth. This shall enable us to correct a fatal blunder once committed by the people. After magnetic treatment, each drop of water someone remembers the pattern it should have. Instantly, the molecules get arranged in a rigid sequence and therefore carry bracing potential to our ailing body. And now, I would like to offer your kind attention a documentary shootout of our numerous experiments aimed at application of magnetic technologies while tending various crops in different nooks and crannies of the Arab Gulf region. Now you can see a villa and a farmstead which belonged to Mr. Ali Nasser Al-Awais. Mr. Ali Nasser began to employ magnetic technologies 1 year ago. The results of this trial are plain to see. These flowers were planted a year ago under the same circumstances. The only difference is that these flowers have a usual pattern of life, whereas these flowers were fed on the water treated by magnetic technology. The same positive effect was produced when growing the grass. This is a regular technology, and that is a magnetic technology. Amazingly vivid results were obtained with animal feed grass. Whilst applying usual technology, as a rule, the owner would mow the feed grass as few as 4 times a year. This is a brand new case which involved magnetic technology. It is noteworthy that the water used for irrigation has an extremely high content of salt, which is more than 10 grams per liter. Now, take a look at this handsome grass. Against the backdrop of outward beauty, there has been a drastic drop in soil salination. Alternatively, This favorable factor has affected the yield, making it possible for the farmer to reap the harvest up to 7 times rather than 4, which was the deal before. The mango trees planted in the same place have also caught our eye. Usually, Mr. Ali Nasser would gather under 28 kilos of mango fruit from one tree. Following the application of magnetic technologies, each mango tree produced the fruit in excess of 200 kilos. According to Mr. Ali Nasser, the fruits which had gone through magnetic treatment acquired an unprecedented shape, flavor, and fragrance, giving off tantalizing aroma in all directions. And now you can see the difference in the way the mango tree leaves look with visual and magnetic techniques. The same case is applicable to lemon trees. It should be mentioned that 1.5-year-old trees draw level with 7-year-old ones in terms of height. Here you can see coconut trees. As is known, it is next to impossible to cultivate ripe coconuts and consequently give them a presentable outlook to be brought within the reach of customers. This is a pathetic fact which can be explained by the climatic conditions of the United Arab Emirates. However, once again, magnetic technologies make it happen. They work miracles and make it possible to dream the impossible dream. These are coconuts from the trees treated by magnetic water. This is reality. As Mr. Ali Nasser always puts it, his farm has seen a new lease on life after he came along to use magnetic technology. Now the farm stands out in dramatic difference to the one it used to be a year ago. It also attributed to the fact that now his place is smothered in the aroma of flowers, grass and greens, which was totally out of the question prior to the start of the tests. And now we'll go on to see what impact magnetic technologies may have on plants at the earliest stage. These shots were taken on the premises of Al-Ain municipality. Like in previous experiments, all the groups of plants were put in the ground at the same point in time and in identical conditions. Now, look at these plants. Isn't it a total different story? The first thing that comes to mind when spotting this astonishing phenomena is a sudden upsurge in the percentage of seeds germinating capacity and a more rapid growth of plants. In the final analysis, these favorable factors will be conducive to a decrease in a vegetative period by 15-20 days. As a rule, the yield goes up by several times over. There is also a drop in the morbidity rate. And these amateur shots were made in Abu Ghalib area near Cairo, Egypt. Here you can see the farmsteads of 2 U.A.E. nationals, Junaid Mohammed Houri and Halfan al-Mazroui. They availed themselves of an opportunity to implement our magnetic systems as long as 6 months ago. The soil of these farms has a high salt content. Amazingly enough, the water contains more than 2,000 salt particles per million. All attempts to grow bananas launched by the farmers before fell right through, as neither soil nor water agree with the parameters required for this crop. Now let us see the picture after magnetic technologies have been applied to the farms in question. It's a complete volte-face. According to observations made by agronomists, the soil has experienced a speedy desalination, and a banana catch was anything you could wish for. Within 6 months, the trees advanced to the sky and turned 3 meters high. The farm owners were quoted as saying that their most recent yield exceeded the vintage of bananas, which had been cultivated on a fertile soil with application of fresh water. The same story has happened to olive trees, watermelons, and melons, as well as vegetables which had been planted on these Egyptian farms. At this point, I would like us to talk about a soil salination problem and the ways the magnetic technologies may suggest to tackle this snag. Magnetic systems manufactured by our company will enable you to make the best of salty water for irrigation of versatile agricultural crops. The water in such a condition has high salt content, which is 816 grams per liter, and is traditionally unsuitable for this purpose. Oddly enough, while applying our method, salts also get washed out of the soil. Nowadays, agriculture faces one of the gravest snags, which is soil salination. This is caused by the salts that enter into sedimentation inside soil capillaries. As a result, soil capacity falls down drastically. It is said that salt concentration in plants' capillaries and insufficient intake of nutrients will ultimately lead to the demise of crops. To solve the salination problem, we can offer magnetic treatment of irrigation water. This method is based on changes in physical and chemical parameters of natural water, which can better filtrating and dissolving capacity of the water. That will speed up salt removal from the salinated soil and facilitate absorption of nutrients and fertilizers for agricultural crops during a vegetation period. Magnetized water gains the power 3-4 times as much as usual water to bring salt out of the soil. As a matter of fact, oxygen concentration increases by 10%. It is noteworthy that after the water has been treated by magnets, the contents of plant nutrients spirals upwards. The problem of irrigating plants with salty water is closely related to that of soil desalination. What is going to happen if the capillaries are capable of making crystals of salt and other chemical elements or suspensions pass straight through? Let us imagine how salt capillaries and crystals may look. It goes without saying that such sizable crystals will block capillaries and salinize the capillaries of both plants and soil. Now, what kind of picture can we get once those crystals are ground into dozens of tinier particles? As is seen, much smaller crystals can readily travel through capillaries of the soil and plants alike. Hence, it follows that it is necessary to split up crystals. This is the job magnetic systems can handle. As a result of application, salts are no longer dangerous, although their contents in the water do not scale down. The plant will select from the water whatever it needs for growth. Useless salt crystals and other components will go down the drain. Soil capillaries will also let the salt crystals and components have access to a general mobile water circulation system. Sure thing, this film is not enough to cover all the experiments that have been undertaken in the Arab Gulf countries. I just want to say that we have been carrying out research and development for 30 years now, and the figures speak for themselves. Magnetic technologies are the way to make nature and man healthy. Water degazation. This phenomenon signifies removal of noxious gases and chemical compounds from water. Let me draw your attention to the present-day procedure used to prepare water for irrigation. As is known, chlorine is used far and wide to fight bacteria whilst getting the water ready for consumption. This is a wise and well-justified thing to do. At the initial stage, chlorine plays a positive role in killing the bacteria off. However, any further presence of chlorine in the water proves to be harmful both for plants and animals, to say nothing of the man. It is common knowledge that at home, water is used for doing the wash-up. Hence it follows that hazardous chemical substances will remain on the surface of dishes. When doing the laundry, they will stay dormant in the pores of underwear and outer clothes. Finally, these harmful agents will end up in the pores of our body after a bath shower. All that will result in negative effects on our skin and hair. Therefore, it appears that there is one logical conclusion. Before use, water shall be cleaned from chlorine and other noxious gases and chemical substances dissolved in water. Now be prepared to observe what is going to happen to the water being treated in a degazator, a special magnetic and vacuum device. This is regular water, and as we might presume and judge from appearances, it cannot be the cockpit for any developments. But look at the water now, as it is passing through the degazator. The water is literally boiling over and is releasing diverse noxious gases and chemical compounds that will eventually go down to sediments. You can clearly see the process which is currently taking place. Furthermore, the harmful substances will be discharged via a storage section at the bottom of the unit. As a result of this cleanup, a pure and fine water is released with all the attributes of technical properties, which consequently make the water suitable for everyday household use. It is worthwhile mentioning that the magnetic and vacuum degazator proves to be a very efficient tool for obliterating pathogenic bacterial medium in the water. And now let us talk about purification of lagoons, lakes, and man-made water reservoirs. Magnetic technologies related to this domain will produce stunning effects as early as a couple of weeks following the beginning of application. We have a long-standing record of applying our technologies in this particular field. It is respectable here to give just one example of how magnetic technologies were used to purify a lagoon in Muscat, Oman. Let me read out an excerpt from the final report released by the laboratory of the Omani Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Visual observations on Kurum Park Lake, Muscat, Oman. Date: the 30th of May, 1995. The water is turbid and has gray-green color. Visibility is under 15-20 centimeters. Date: the 28th of June, 1995. The water is clear and has no mud-like gray color. Visibility has improved up to 150 centimeters. Young fish are observed in the water. It should be mentioned that the first sample of water was taken out for an assay in June when it wasn't that hot. The water was tested then for the second time in mid-July during the hottest spell of weather. The above-mentioned facts serve as an indicator of a reversible turn for the better at the Kurum Park Lake. The data made available after research make it clear that a water revival process has occurred in the water. The progress will make some more headway as the magnetic fountain installed at the site keeps on providing vital force to further purify the water and make it see-through, as well as develop microflora and mollusks which can work as perfect biological filters. By the way, another magnetic system was fixed onto the fountain and charger, which pushed up the nozzle of the water by 20 meters higher. Once again, this example serves as a proof that magnetic technologies make it possible to increase the efficiency of any water pump. I should mention a few words here about small fountains and a spraying method in particular. After magnetic treatment, water becomes biologically active, and therefore sprinkles of magnetic and aerosol fountain will carry considerable healing potential. Even a small fountain of up to 1 meter high can ionize the atmosphere within the range of at least 100 meters. In local climatic conditions notorious for a low content of oxygen, magnetic systems will have an extremely favorable effect on the environment and man alike. It is noteworthy that magnetic water is 10 times mightier than non-magnetic water to intercept finely dispersed particles in the atmosphere. Some more positive effects which can be ensured through magnetic systems are as follows. It is widely known that different types of pumps and irrigation pipes are used in all the farms for production interest. Sometime later, after these pieces of equipment have been operated for a while, the productivity rate slides down due to incrustation deposits and salt buildup inside main pipes and pump units. Our magnetic systems will allow you the convenience of extending service life and efficiency of your devices, and therefore these problems will melt away. Here you can see incrustation buildup prior to magnetic treatment and afterwards. Deposit formation seems to be a vexed problem for heat energy facilities. Our magnetic systems may be deemed as an extremely economical method to tackle this nagging question. Once installed at water distilleries, heat power stations, and boilers, magnetic systems will decrease incrustation buildup by several times without operating common, quite costly, and non-eco-friendly chemical methods. It comes as no surprise that even stagnated deposits get readily dissolved and the equipment regains its operational worthiness with no additional funds to be earmarked for cleanup procedures. Similar method is also practiced far and wide to control corrosion. Magnetic systems can also be efficiently used in household conditions. To start with, I'll take you to the kitchen. Get those systems installed in your kitchen, and you will cease to go to the shop for drinking water. The water which has gone through magnetic appliances conforms to international requirements for drinking mineral water. Incidentally, the water becomes highly biologically active, which will favorably affect your health condition. And now let's proceed to the bathroom. Fit your bathroom with our magnetic devices, which will supply with soft and silky biologically active water. Now this water can strengthen your hair and do your skin a world of good. Your skin becomes gentle and delicate. Now let me turn to your animal farm. Magnetic systems will create stable and positive effects when employed in raising almost all the kinds of domestic animals and poultry. Magnetic water alone, once given to drink to the cattle and fowls, will reduce morbidity rate by nearly 100%. Average daily additional weight of young animals goes up by 30–60% as compared to check samples. Average yield of milk increases by 10–15% with big enhancement of fat contents and flavor. Bacterium regimen also lessens drastically. The same results are observed when using magnetic water for fish breeding. In such circumstances, the fish grow at a rate which almost doubles normal development. I believe a couple of words need to be mentioned here about application of magnetic energies in construction industry and production of various types of concrete. Application of magnetic technologies of many years standing in construction makes it possible to come up with extra heavy-duty reinforced concrete structures resistant to aggressive media. Magnetic systems will also allow the convenience of saving up to 25% of cement with considerable increase of concrete plasticity if needed. According to practical use of the above-mentioned techniques, magnetically manufactured concrete enjoys durability several times as much as that prepared in a usual fashion. This is extremely important for construction of sea booms, communication facilities, roads and bridges, and residential housing, especially in the regions notorious for weather conditions. The durability factor I'm talking about is vital for laying down foundations in severe terraneous conditions, where drained waters of aggressive nature create a favorable environment for speedy destruction of concrete. Magnetic technologies are widely employed in oil mining, oil refining, petrochemical, as well as oil gas industry. At present, we claim more than 100 state-of-the-art technologies which can be applied in the aforesaid industries. A special decree enforced by the Russian government serves as a proof of our technological significance and directs all the enterprises of Russian fuel and power complex to switch over to magnetic technologies. Certainly, this is an exclusively formidable topic, and it will take quite a while before profound explanatory notes can be provided. The tape definitely does not put me in a position as to shed light on all issues related to the subject matter. I'd rather elaborate on a magnetic device which can be a solution for fuel and ecology problems. Magnetic fuel modifier of Professor Tkatchenko. The latest magnetological gadget. Environmental pollution caused by transport exhaust waste is currently the most vexed issue for huge cities and industrial hubs of literally all the advanced countries. Amongst the magnitude of versatile troubleshooters for this problem, which include catalysts, additives, etc., the magnetic fuel modifier Professor Tkatchenko presents the most acceptable option to tackle the snag from ecological and economical standpoint. It comes as no surprise that the device in question was tested by many laboratories in the world. The magnetic fuel modifier may be used for any kind of fuel, petrol, diesel oil, kerosene, or natural gas, and always produces only positive results. The device is also suitable for land and water transport, such as motorbikes, automobile vehicles, yachts, scooters, ships, etc. The unit is very simple and easy to handle and does not want special maintenance. The magnetic fuel modifier was designed with the following ideas in mind. Ecological aspect. The device reduces toxic exhaust waste by several times. This is an obvious and clear-cut merit. Economical aspect. 25–30% of fuel can be saved, which will enable the modifier to pay off within an operational week at the longest. An increase in engine power. The unit makes the engine more powerful and the vehicle lighter. Working lifetime of the engine will be extended. Even low-test gasoline performs as premium high-octane gasoline after magnetic treatment. I have just told you about one out of multitude magnetic devices applicable in oil and fuel industry. It is noteworthy that our magnetic systems can be used for some complicated functions there, such as oil desalination and dehydration, degassation and dewaxing, more efficient fractionation, and the like. Magnetology has a broad spectrum of application in medical sphere. It is not coincidental that the most enlightened world scientists have dubbed magnetology medicine of the 21st century. Magnetic water is an absolute must for treatment of various diseases which involves magnetic devices. I would like to make a special emphasis here. Magnetic water shall be taken for all the cases. All liquids shall be magnetized: water, tea, coffee, and soft drinks. You have already managed to see what happens to plants once they receive magnetic water. Here you can see different magnetic devices which might be used to magnetize water. We can compare human body to plants with these, as the cause for the overwhelming majority of illnesses is excessive slag buildups. Magnetic water enjoys exclusive biological activity and high dissolving rate. Within a short period of time it will be able to remove slags and toxic agents from the body where they have been stored for years. And that is the simplest magnetic device, called a magnetic funnel. It does not take up much room and can be taken along when traveling. You shall be able to see explicit changes in your health condition in 7–14 days. Insomnia, dizziness, weakness, and irritability will stop to bother you. An influx of energy will be injected in your body. Let me run that once again for you. Magnetic water is the first step on the path leading to a better health. To cure numerous maladies, we can efficiently use special medical magnetic devices. Here's just an outline of some of them. I'd rather begin with looking at a set of tools which is actually badly needed for every family. Let me put that in the following way. These tools ought to become part and parcel of modus vivendi of a civilized family, since they produce both hygienic and medical effects. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we must limit ourselves to a brief showing of some tools, as they have some intimate connotation. This is a rectal magnetotron, used to treat a wide range of male diseases. And that is a vaginal magnetotron, which is used to deal with a host of female illnesses. Over here you may see a device which any young man from the age of 15 onwards is in need of as a preventive measure. It is worthwhile mentioning that these tools were awarded gold medals as present-day methods to treat hardly curable diseases. You may obtain more detailed information on these devices by dropping in our offices and collecting special brochures. And here's a miraculous remedy for stabilization of blood pressure, be it low or high. This magic gadget will normalize your blood pressure in no time. It has somewhat an unusual name, Professor. The Professor in your pocket means a reliable protector against stresses and magnetic storms. The Professor will alleviate joint pains and patch up ulcers and wounds which are hard to heal. It is an indispensable aid for burns. Another device which I would like you to see now is also very interesting. Are you writhing with headache? Do not rush to pull out tablets. There are other friendly and trustworthy cronies to be by your side, magnetic clips. To begin with, we'll have to fix them like that. Now let's have some magnetic water, and in 3 minutes the headache is just history. Your woes will be replaced by pep and cheerful mood. And these are magnetic clips too, but they have been designed for a different kind of application. Are you tormented by asthma attacks? Do you have permanent or even chronic diseases of upper respiratory tracts? Does the runny nose bother you at night and cause inconvenience? You have a chance now to get rid of those ailments and assess efficiency of this magnetic tool with your own eyes. Does backache get you down? Are your feet swollen? Do your joints make you suffer? In this case, magnetic units will come to rescue you, and a magnetic strip will make your day. I wish to apologize once again for having failed to comment on each individual device at length. It must be mentioned that we have at our disposal a wider spectrum of medical magnetic tools, which will take a burden off your life. As our story is drawing to an end, I would like to say a few words about an idea of magnetology clinics. A search for fresh alternative methods of medical treatment is the most burning problem for the healthcare system worldwide. It would be honest to assert that vigorous application of magnetic energies and versatile special magnetic devices are likely to become a new tendency in the medical domain in the years to come. This assumption has been endorsed by the fact that the world scientists have displayed a great interest to the newly emerged trend. The world has seen 3 largest international conferences over the last 2 years alone, with venues in Cairo, London, and Moscow. These conferences were arranged under the common name of Magnetology, Medicine of the 21st Century, which speaks for itself. Nevertheless, magnetology advance in medicine will require profound and fundamental knowledge in this field on the one hand, and a broad production basis of special magnetic appliances on the other. In this respect, Russia definitely takes the lead, since it has been the place for scientific magnetology research and development for more than 30 years now. Magnetic Technologies, a jointly owned Russian-Arab corporation, was founded in the United Arab Emirates in 1994. Elaboration of the magnetology idea and introduction of magnetic technologies in diverse economic and medical spheres is the key objective of the aforesaid entity. The company carries a considerable scientific potential in magnetology, as well as a wide spectrum of state-of-the-art magnetic equipment to be installed in magnetology clinics. The company employs scientists who are capable of fitting required magnetic devices and teaching the staff how to handle them. It is noteworthy that application of magnetic technologies in medicine will enable us to treat a great deal of incurable diseases at ordinary healthcare institutions. This includes cancer, diabetes, complicated psychiatric disorders, cardiovascular and gastrointestinal diseases, motor and sexual disorders, etc. All these illnesses can be cured without surgeries and toxic chemical medical preparations. We therefore put forward our offer for your perusal on opening magnetology clinics in your part of the world. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the tape you have just watched is reality and practical results rather than a fruit of vivid imagination to pull a promotion trick off. Magnetic technologies are a genuine, unique means which will help bring both man and planet to a healthy state. We have used this tape to get you familiarized with a couple of technologies which can normally be applied to households, farmsteads, and enterprises. As a matter of fact, our company boasts of more than 500 latest technologies applicable in petrochemical industry, construction, heat energy, food biotechnology, ecology, medicine, and so on and so forth. The technologies I have been talking about will enable you to dramatically overhaul both economic and ecological condition of your farms. Ultimately, these unprecedented techniques will crown your endeavors with a sense of self-achievement, which is likely to give the earth you live on a kiss of life. Welcome to the world's only showroom of magnetic technologies.
The Central Television showed unusual abilities of Yuri Tkatchenko, the president of the International Center Kavkaz for Alternative Medicine, and attracted, as expected, a great interest among scientists. That's why on October the 12th there took place an official registration of the record. Special video crew from one of the leading Japanese TV companies, NTV, came to make a unique film. Scientists from different institutes, after thorough verification of purity of the experiment, witnessed the registration of the phenomenal record. And now, when everything is in the past, we can say for sure, a new star shone in the sky, and the place of birth of that star is the city of Sochi. At the beginning, there was a woman up with a plate of 20 kilos. Yuri Tkatchenko lifted it up using the language of athletes easily. This weight is a record already. The weight of the second one is 30 kilos, but it holds a plastic cube and a dagger. And now the culmination. The polished surface of the 30-kilo plate holds another one of 20 kilos, and so the total weight of both plates is 50 kilos. As a result, deserved applauses from scientists and reporters. Really, there is no shortage of strongmen in Russia. You have just demonstrated what other people cannot do. Are you a Superman? I would not say so. Anybody could do it. Those millions of TV watchers who are watching me now, I believe can do it. Thousands of hysterical people foretell downfall for us and for our country. I declare, you have great capacity for many things. You can't even imagine your potential. Those who are watching me today will be able to do the same. I'm not talking about those iron plates. Iron plates are rubbish. You can achieve more. Stick to the only rule. Keep a smile on your face. Help the needy. Share your bread with the one who asks for, and the God will not forget you. Yuri, I congratulate you. Tell me, please, are these merits ingrained or acquired? Perhaps I had something of this kind in my childhood, but such skills I acquired when I began to deal with bioenergy. It means that anyone can learn it. Yes, sure, but at the beginning you have to study such a book as White Magic. You can buy this book in our International Center Kavkaz in Sochi, Tsurupa Street 4. We can mail this book to you, and so challenge yourself.